So that would make it. We are going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. It's good to see your all's faces on the screen, and we got Miss Angie here. This is a special called meeting for the Rockcastle County Board of Education, and the first thing on our agenda is the roll call, and everyone is present either here or through Zoom.
I make a motion.
Amendment of the district facilities plan.
That was uploaded into your Google Drive. The local planning committee met last night and approved the draft district facilities plan. The next step in the process is for the board to approve this, and then we will send this afternoon to KDE along with the submittal form, and then they will give us the okay to go ahead and hold the public hearing, which is the next step. That public hearing is scheduled for November the 4th, and Miss Anna has been a part of that process as your representative.
Does anyone have any questions, concerns? Terry about some of the numbers that was on there, and she said that was already, the square footage and stuff like that is set by the KDE. Is that what you said, Miss Carrie? So
Yes,
I just questioned that a little bit myself. So
it's based on student enrollment.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any? Something that is already said. I don't know if there's anything we can do about that. I don't know about anyone else.
No, that's, of course, that's the whole point. That's part of the consideration, I think, because, bottom line in the end, as far as square footage, it's gonna be much less than what we currently have.
Miss Anna, was anything discussed at the meeting about that you could tell us?
No, that's pretty much what we discussed is based upon the student enrollment is what the square footage is determined by. So there's not much that we can do with that. That's just basically it. I mean, there's nothing that we can do to change that for better or worse.
Um, and what was there, and besides the classroom space and the overall space, what kind of conversation did you have in relation to the gym itself? Because I know the gym is a big ticket most usually when facilities are built.
Yeah, and that'll kind of go upon the same lines, you know, we won't have, the gymnasium in the new facility like we have in what we have now. And then I guess, we'll just have to look at the options that we can do to maybe what the old facility can hold for us. If anything, you know.
We have had some discussions, and Miss Anna was a part of that with the architect about trying to maintain the old gym or the current gym in addition to building a new gym as part of this school. So, you know, keeping that as an option so we have, you know, that old gym that we can still continue to utilize.
And that's our best hope. And that would be for the entire county, and that would be a very good plan, I think.
I think that when I looked at this, I guess I was kind of shocked by such a drastic change in it. I guess, Anna, has been my question. I mean, you're looking at a building that's not a whole lot bigger than Broadhead Elementary.
Well, and that, even JD mentioned that fact, exactly that. But I still think that this is probably the best way to go. You're thinking when the old high school, when the middle school was built, that was built for almost 300 more kids. And so, and then, you know, we're looking at the decline of that. So, and hopefully the construction will go better.
Sure.
I do think it's a good plan.
Miss,
I think my question would be looking at the difference in square footage. Is there square footage at the current middle school that's not being used?
Yeah, there's a lot of wasted space in the current middle school. I mean, if you're looking at actual classrooms that the new building would accommodate. The architect did give us a plan based on that student enrollment of like X number of science classrooms, X number of math classrooms. We've gone over that with Mr. Phillips, and that does match our current structure, and there's no difference in that. There's just a whole lot of additional space at the middle school that really a lot of it is storage, that old archery room. I mean, there's a lot of space that we don't utilize.
Well, even our hallways, there's so much overture for our hallways, and you have things that are on multiple levels at the middle school because rocks and things were not removed. It was just done really quickly, I think. So there's, in a lot of aspects, a lot of square footage that isn't used just for classroom use that could be redesigned in a new facility and used better, I think.
And I do think it would be a much more efficient structure as long as we're not losing classroom space.
Yeah.
so Miss Perry, correct me, if we approve this, then we are approving this. I mean, I know that things can be changed as far as size, but this is pretty much all that we could go, right?
Yeah,
that's it. Okay.
Yeah, and that's not gonna change
That,
whether we approve it now or we approve it 5
Later.
years from now. It's
Gonna be the
based
same.
on student enrollment, and they have a formula that the square footage is derived from.
is there, one more question, and I'll let the horse be done. Is there, a gap in there that is utilized for if we should have an increase in number of students? What's the number there for enrollment?
They have that strict formula that they go by. We had to give them our current student enrollment, and then they have also gone back and looked at the year end of 18. But they use data from the University of Louisville to get these numbers, and they looked at the projected enrollment. They've looked at our declining enrollment.
Sure.
They look at the growth of the county. They put all of that together to come up with this number.
All right. Thank you, Miss Anna, for, setting in on that and
It's
representing
been my
us.
pleasure.
Does anyone else have any questions for Miss Carey? If no more questions, we just need a motion to approve the draft amendment of the district facilities plan.
I'll make the motion.
Miss Angie made the first motion. I need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
No,
The next thing on our agenda is to appoint a hearing officer to conduct the public hearing. So,
Angie,
oh,
Angie, before you move on, you did get my no vote.
yes, sir, I did. Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Hammond.
So as part of this process, this, will be submitted to the Kentucky Department of Education, and then, they will give us the go-ahead to hold the hearing, the public hearing, and part of that process is appointing a hearing officer. That can either be myself or Mr. Trent Clark, who is the chair of the district, the local planning committee. So either one of us can do that.
So we need to, appoint a hearing officer to conduct the public hearing. Do we need to appoint an individual or?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, appoint someone.
Miss Carey could do it, or Mr. Trent, either one. It does not matter. I mean, do you wanna do it?
It's fine, I'll be happy to do it, sure.
I just say, let's just let Miss Carey do it, if you all, unless you all have a problem with that.
I'll second that.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, all in favor of that? I guess we don't really have to vote on that, but, okay. Item 6, review and approve an agreement with, how do you say that? Final Site, formerly the School Point, for district website.
You all have previously approved a contract, for us to work with School Point to redo our district website. Since the time that you signed that contract, School Point has been sold to this new company, Final Site. There's no change in money, there's no change in anything, no change in service. We just need to approve, a new contract with the only difference is the name of the company has changed. But they will still be providing us the same service.
So we're really just approving what we've already approved, it's just a name and
A
the
name
difference in
change.
the name and the company.
Yes.
With that being said, I need a motion to approve this agreement with Final Site.
I make a motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? And number 7 is review and approve the amendment to the Roundstone Elementary School custodial position.
So this position, there has been a retirement of one of the custodians at Roundstone. This custodian is currently working 185 days at 8 hours a day, but 6 of those hours are paid from the general fund and 2 are paid from food service. This was something that was done years and years ago. I don't know when, and I don't really know why or what the situation was. On the remainder of their 240 days, they only work 6 hours versus 8 hours because they're not doing the food service piece during the summer months. So as we're rehiring a new position, I would just like to clean this up and make this 8-hour days for the full school year. It's hard to hire someone and say, well, you're gonna work 8 hours for X number of days and 6 hours for X number of days. That's just hard to hire someone new into a position under those stipulations. So I would like to clean that up and, amend that custodian position.
Ms. Ballinger?
Yes.
Ms. Ballinger?
Yes.
And I understand, the 6 hours, 8 hours, yeah, that's tough. The only thing I would ask, in looking at that, do you think then, we should continue with the 240? Is the 240 needed, or is that good?
I'd like to see it continue as the 240.
248.
That way that they can continue doing services in the summer and, the waxing and all of that upkeep that takes place in the summer months.
That's the amount of days that other custodians have throughout the district, is that right, Ms. Carey?
Miss Jenny, this says 240, is that not right? Miss Jenny has just informed me that this is not correct. This says 240 and it should be 248 to match the other janitors across the district.
248 days at
Yes.
8 hours a day.
Yes,
Is part
correct.
of their contract.
Correct.
Did you all get that clarification?
Yes.
And this matches the other custodial staff throughout the district, so. With that being said, does anyone have any questions about that? Need a motion to approve the amendment?
I make a motion,
Okay?
and I'll second.
Okay, all in favor of that? Okay, I just need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
I make a motion.
Thank you all for joining us today, during the middle of your day. We appreciate you.